AM 970 WSTX.
Up to the Frederiksted Children's Book and Film Festival. And this is a very serious collaboration. And we have one of the main collaborators, conspirators, whatever you want to call them, here with us here today. How awesome is that? All right. We've got none other than Virginia Awesome Wilder Claremont here with us in the studio today. All right. We're going to be talking about this Children's Book and Film Festival. Of course, this is the second time around that I'm aware of.
Yes.
All right. So this is fantastic. All right. You got to speak into the mic a little bit here. The mic's a little bit weak. This one is stronger. But anyhow, we got you here. Good. Let's talk about it and let the public know, because this is an opportunity to come on out, adults, and see what our children read, because it's not only a book, but it's also a movie. All right? And I was watching Oprah this morning.
Can't wait to see where this goes.
I was watching Oprah this morning. Okay. Actually, I was up from early editing some video and the TV was on and Oprah was on. Okay? But anyhow, she had a guest there from Super Soul Sunday, and they were talking about the parent interaction with children. That's where it's going. And I'm going to tell you, don't try to make your children into what you want them to be or what you think they should be or what you would have wanted to be but somehow didn't achieve. Make sure you spend quality time. Okay? My young man here is doing some things here that I ask him, well, what is this and what is that, and can I do it too? And then we sit down and we do it together and everything else. And these are the things that make a difference, and these children remember. Not just sit down, don't go there, don't do that. Go to sleep now. Eat your food now. Yeah, you got to be the parent, okay? But like he's into this Minecraft thing, and Minecraft is something that they're using in education. And I'm saying, well, okay, well, how can we get it on the computer? So now we're going to install a particular version that's being used a lot in education onto the computer, and we're going to play some Minecraft. Because if you don't get involved and understand what's impacting your children and influencing your children, you're leaving them out there at the mercy of all those other influences out there. So I'm glad to see something like the Frederiksted Children's Book and Film Festival come along. Parents, don't let your child just go with the neighbor next door. Come with them. Watch the movie. Understand. Because these movies, as much as you may not think so, you think it's just cartoon, play this, they have messages in them. Make sure you know what messages your children get in. And if it ain't the right one somewhere along the line, that you plant the message that's most important. Okay. Anyhow, Virginia, I had hair running my mouth. Talk to me.
Excuse me. You're absolutely right. This is our second annual Children's Book and Film Festival, and it will be launching on Friday, July the 29th. And what it is we feature a movie that's paired with an award-winning book that we give to the student, to the one household, receives a book when they attend the movie, with the purpose of trying to encourage the kids to have a conversation, regarding similarities or differences between the book and the movie. So it's 4 Fridays starting July 29th. On the 29th, we're having Horton Hears a Who, which is a Dr. Seuss book. The following Friday, August the 5th, we have Where the Wild Things Are. August the 12th, City of Ember. And August 19th, the final viewing is, the movie is Hugo, but the book is actually called The Invention of Hugo Cabret. So it is a family event. We, in addition to the movies, we're going to have vendors there, you can have dinner before the movies with your friends. We'll have various activities for the kids to do, usually something along the lines of coloring or playing ball or something like that. This year, the Rotary Club is actually going to host a children's book and film festival while I take a much needed break. So I'm very, very happy that they're doing that with us.
Go Rotary,
I
go
know.
Rotary,
St.
go
Croix,
Rotary,
yeah.
Rotary, Rotary.
Yeah.
All
So let me
right.
be specific. Rotary St. Croix is actually has agreed to host the Children's Book and Film Festival. I am very appreciative to them for that. So what we're also doing with them is we're collecting school supplies for their adopted school, Juanita Gardine. Am I saying that right? Juanita Gardine Elementary School. So we're collecting school supplies for them. So if you come to the Book and Film Festival, please bring at least one item with you: a pen, pencil, erasers, anything that would help needier kids who may not be able to get those supplies themselves.
Yeah, ream of paper or colored papers for the art
Yeah.
classes or whatever the case may be.
Folder.
Anything that will help.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You just reminded me of something, No matter how much I prepare to come here in the morning, I always forget something. I forgot my pom-poms. I should have had my pom-poms. So
So yeah, it's how we do. It's a collaborative and a community effort. I want to give a couple of shout outs. One to the VI Lottery for sponsoring the Children's Book and Film Festival. They gave a contribution towards that, so it allowed us to do things even a little fancier this year. So much love to them. To Reliable Rentals, who is letting us use their sound system, a lovely speaker, so that we can have better ambiance than we did last year. The Weeddaya Cultural Dancers purchased the 25 books that we have for Horton Hears a Hoop.
whoa.
Yeah. So really appreciate them for that. And then Optimal Printing. So we have a new poster, a banner, and posters that we're sharing, and Optimal Printing design that for us for free. So love that they're partnering with us in the community. And then we have a final sponsor who is giving us some books, because we also have, we're doing a book exchange, or we'll have free books available in addition to the books that we're giving away. We'll have free books available for anyone who wants them. And Quantum CT actually is providing us with some of those books. So it's really, like I said, it's a community event. We're hoping that we have a good turnout this year. If you do come, please bring a blanket or chairs so that you can sit on, because seating is limited. It's outdoors at Budho Park, and it starts at 5:30 continuing to 9:30 p.m.
All right. Well, I'm going to be constructive and positively mischievous here. You said, and the last one, is the door closed? If somebody wants to contribute and do something to enhance this process?
The door is never closed.
All right.
It's never
Okay,
closed,
the door is never
right,
closed.
It's never
Okay.
closed. If you want to do something, just let us know. You can reach me at 340-227-1978 or at cleansweepfrederickstead@gmail.com. So, you know what? I Undercover Books gave us a generous discount. They didn't charge us for shipping.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so for these books, and they actually put in the hard work this year of looking for them, so that freed us up to do other things. So much love to them as well. They have a great staff over there.
I should have brought my pom-poms. I could have.
Yeah, it's amazing when how people will come together to help support and make something happen for the community. So I'm just really overwhelmed and pleased with the support that we got for this particular project.
Well, we've got to come together and acknowledge, like you're doing, these organizations and businesses that are making this kind of a difference. Because it really is more than just making a donation. They're actually making a sacrifice into their bottom line. As far as the businesses, individuals, it's their time. They could use it for something else. So
Absolutely.
I just want to give kudos to all of you who are engaging in community service and making a difference in our community.
Yes, right down to, let me just tell you, our banner, we have a banner that we're placing near the bus stop in Frederickstead and Abramson's bus stop, and they actually allowed us to do that for free. So, folks in this community are very generous when it comes to, building community and trying to make, STX, St. Croix, better. So,
Yep.
lots of love.
All right. Well, and folks, while we at it, don't forget to put WSTX, your community-minded station, on that list of organizations that are out here going the extra mile.
Allowing
And-
us to be here to talk about
You
these
know,
things.
and sometimes it's like, when I find out about this happened and that happened and we didn't get the information to get it out, it just rubs me the wrong way. I say, okay, dog, calm down. Do the yoga hum, do something, okay? It's not just their loss, it's the community's loss. And as much as possible, we got to get the word out about things that are going on in the community.
Because there's lots of good things that happen, that happens on St. Croix. And sometimes I am disappointed when I'm like, I didn't know that was happening, and to know you missed the potential to have a really good time. Anyway, I also wanted to add one little thing. We're still working out the details, but at the Book and Film Festival, we have a kite competition coming up. The tentative date right now is August 27th. So every Friday at the Book and Film Festival, we're going to be helping kids make their own kites. I was approached by Vaughn Brown, who wanted to have a kite festival, and so I said, we could do that. Let's fit it in with the Children's Book and Film Festival, and sort of have something else for the kids to do before school starts. So that'll be coming up. I'll give you more information about that when we solidify the details. But for now, we'll have some materials available, but come on down, because there's going to be lots to do. So we're going to be making kites, we're going to be eating and getting fat, you're going to be watching a great movie.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, it's really great that we have these things going on in the community, folks. Don't say you didn't know. All right? Maybe say you didn't want to know, but don't say you didn't know. Okay?
And it's free. Did I mention that? It's free.
It's free. All right. Good. It's when you go down to, let's say, Frederickstead, I use Frederickstead as the example, and you take a walk down the waterfront in the afternoon, the sun may be out there bright, or it may be mellowing, going towards sundown. These are things that people pay to get on a plane, to come here to see. And there is no comparison to what is up there. They have their own beauty up there, don't get me wrong. But our unique beauty is something that we have to treasure. And so, folks, you come down to the Buttle Park, use someplace that you should cherish, and while you're there, Creator, God, however you want to look at it, just give thanks that we're here to experience this, and that you had this opportunity with your children to bring them down and do it. I passed by up here by the Christianstead bypass, and you see the various people walking and everything. I happened to run up there the other day because I wanted to do some footage up there, video footage. And so I basically was sitting there for about an hour just taking in what was going on, from the birds passing by to the occasional motorboat going across the water, the sailboat, the cars that you might see zip by, and you have the trees and you have a little piece of road and the car passes in between and catches your eye. All of these little things that sometimes, folks, you might just want to go up to the bypass overlook, take your chair and sit down for a few minutes and take it in. All right? These are things that you get a chance to do every once in a blue moon, take the children with you.
Yeah.
Tell them, what do you see? Look at the clouds and challenge them and say, what shape do you see in the clouds? You know, simple little things like that. Challenge your young people to be creative and imaginative in that sense. But you have this panorama that is nowhere else. It's beautiful, unique, and people paying to come and see. Don't take it for granted.
I know.
Okay? So now, reading and movies. I wanted to say a special thanks to Pastor Gordon, now long gone, rest in peace, Pastor Gordon. But he introduced me in many ways to poetry and reading. Yeah, I had to go to school and I was in his class, but he wasn't just a teacher. Like most teachers aren't just a teacher. There's somebody special. They interact with students, and sometimes they touch students in ways that is never documented that way. It's just a personal thing. But my appreciation of poetry and the ways in which it affected my imagination and spurred me on is something that you can never really put a value on. And so, just the same way that somebody touched you, take that time out with the children, and this is a great opportunity. You know, a lot of these children think that watching cartoons or watching this is just a children thing, and then the adults, they're over there. Well, when I go to the schools and I talk to these young people, the first thing I start doing is asking them about the various cartoons and give them details and saying, what about this person? You like them? Is this a nice person? Whatever. And then at first they watch you strange. Wait, no? What this man talking about this? Da, 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 da. It's like, hey, he talking our language. Let me listen to. So by the time I get to whatever principles I want to pass on to them as a matter of to say that hopefully you impact these folks' life, they're listening. So parents, uncles, aunties, grandparents, take the time, spend some time in that child's world. Sometimes bring them into your world and tell them about things that you used to do. You know, tell you how things get. As a child and having to go to church on Sundays. Yes, having to go, okay? You had a choice, okay? But I used to walk to church. Now, these days, it's jump in a car and drop them off to Sunday school and whatever, so forth and so on. So I'm saying, well, okay, I'm going to start walking, and I taking them with me because they need to recount the steps that I did and talk about some of the things that I experienced. And yeah, at first there's going to be resistance. I know there's going to be resistance because things like car come along and nobody want to walk. You want to go across the street and jump in a car, okay? No. You want to enjoy an idea, they watch TV or watch them. You have to read and develop the thinking skills, imagination in the process, and the movie becomes complementary, not primary. So let's go for the dates again so folks can know what we got going on here. Okay.
So the first movie is on Friday, July 29th. That's Horton Hears a Who. Starting at, the movie starts at sunset, but activities and, starts at 5:30. Then the following week, August the 5th, we have Where the Wild Things Are, which is another classic. Love that book. I must have read it 1,000 times to my children when they were growing up. So we have actually two versions of the movie. We have the short version for the younger kids. So we're going to show the shorter version first. That's it's just a reading of the book, an animated reading of the book, and then we're going to have the computer animated version that was recently in the movie theaters. So we're going to have two I guess, viewpoints. The only thing I have to say I'm a little scared because I've never seen the most recent movie, and I'm like, oh, I hope this does not scare the little children. So, but we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, and then the other movie, City of Ember, is out August the 12th. That is a beautiful classic. Well, it will become a classic, and it's about these people that live underground and don't know that they live underground. They think that that's the way the world is. So it's a great book. And then the final book is Hugo. That's the name of the movie, but the book is actually called I want to say it's A Fantastic World of Hugo Cabret. And that book was actually written in 1974, I believe. So that's another award-winning classic that we chose for the Book and Film Festival.
All right. Reading is fundamental. It's an important thing to imagination, and it's part of what we have to do to not only exist, but to excel in this world. And I say excel, we want so much for our children in certain ways, but the first thing we have to do is make that bonding and connection so that they're focusing and otherwise thriving from within, not because we want it for them. But it starts with things like this, folks. Get out there, get your children out there, do things that surprise them.
And children, you'd be surprised. They love books, because they last year when we did it, they snapped up all of the free books that we had available, and then the Rotary had thousands of books that they received, and was very generous with us and gave us a few hundred of them, and those kids took all of them. There weren't any books left behind. So the reading is fundamental, yeah, but children really like to read. It takes them to whatever it is they're reading, takes them to a different place, a magical place.
Okay. Well, I'm going to change gears just a little bit here. I got a complaint against you. I'm going to call police for you. Okay?
Get in line. Get in line.
No, I got to get the line for that
yes,
too.
You do.
I got to figure out how to jump the line. Anyhow, but seriously, okay? I got some folks who want an I Love Frederickstead shirt. So please, let me know so I could get mine and then tell the world. But folks, I don't know if you've seen the I Love Frederickstead shirt, but it's nice.
Yeah,
it's simple,
it is. Mm-hmm.
and it sends a positive message, all right? So I'm just waiting to see the I Love Christianstead, I Love Sunny, I Love Montbijou shirt then coming out too. But that's what it's all about. It's not that you don't love other places, it's just that this shirt was the first one I saw with that kind of a theme, that simplistic and otherwise. It just looks comfy, it looks relaxed. All right? So
I will put together an order sheet, and I will start taking orders for those t-shirts. It was for us online fundraiser that we did, but apparently when people see them, they're like, oh, I want one too. So we only printed, we only had 35 of them made. Only 35 people own that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, whether it's the Children's Book and Film Festival or whatever other events you're involved in, you got to come up with a sheet where a person can sign up, and otherwise if they want to make a down payment, whatever, I think it'll take off. It's so simple. It's something that looks like it'll endure in terms of the community spirit and the island spirit. Hey, it's when I was too small to remember, but they tell me that my navel string had two sides. One was Christianstead and one was Frederickstead. So I'm still trying to imagine how that one there was. But so, anyhow,
I love St. Croix, but I'm passionate about Frederickstead. Because that's where everything. That's my whole foundation. So no disrespect to other places on the island, because the whole island is just amazingly beautiful. But my heart is,
Well,
on the
that's
West End.
well, that's great. I think that more and more we need to have more people talking about their childhood in the various areas. For instance, I talked about walking to church or Sunday school. Well, the fact of the matter is, people used to walk from La Valley to come over the hill to go to school. And, in our minds, maybe it might be hard to imagine, but we still have some folks around who made that pilgrimage. And I'm hoping that somewhere along the line, somebody will do just a simple little audio interview and so forth and so on. And I say this, you have cell phones. You have all these gadgets that we have today. Folks, you have people around you that you love. Sit down and have a little simple interview. It doesn't have to be a CNN 60 minutes moment. And it don't have to be just one time. It could be a little bit here, a little bit there, so forth and so on. I remember my mom telling me about back in the days of Brother Joe, okay? And, they would send her out, in essence, as the person to, on behalf of the store, to go up to Christiansted from Frederickstead to pick up certain supplies to bring back for the store, okay? And she would talk about being on the bus and how basically the bus driver was her steward, and how she would take this ride all the way uptown, and they would stop here and she would pick up all these things, and the bus would come back at a certain time and pick her up, and how in them days, if you had to have a rest stop, it was on the side of the road, and all that was bush. And all these things, and I experienced as a child, but to hear her tell it, I would feel less than whole to know that experience existed, and I never got the opportunity to hear it. And then think about children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and they hear that voice, and they make the connection with the picture I hope you have of that family member. Folks, let's take this thing we have, technology, and transform it into just an extension of quality of life. That's what it's really all about. Quality of life. Make sure that you can share that quality of life. I have a certain gentleman who does call me from time to time. I ain't gonna call his name to protect the innocent, but I know if he's listening, he know what I'm talking about. And I have a picture of my father with the net and the tool that he used to make and mend the net with. And this is something that people, when you say a fishing net, you go to the store and you buy a fishing net. And these men had big sin. I mean, hundreds of feet of net that you go out with a boat and drop it off and pull it in, that they make. And if they bought it and they get a hole in it, they weren't going out and buy a new one. They mending it.
Right.
I remember the floats, on the net, because you have the lead on the bottom part, so it goes down, and the float on the top. Well, that float very often was a piece of wood that they crafted, bore a hole through, and pull the rope through as they're making the net. And these are things that, in every way possible, we have to memorialize them and get them into things like books, and have these type of events so the children can read and imagine in their minds. It's so funny. I was down at Landmark Society, and a gentleman was down there making a fish pot. And several days after I saw him, the Creator took him from us. And I'm just saying, folks, don't take the people who tell you these stories and make you laugh and wonder and everything else. Don't take them for granted. Sit down with that cell phone and turn on the movie making, because they get a movie and sound. If they don't want a picture, don't put it to point the picture at them. Just get the sound. Another example, May Cornwall. Her father was a jockey, and of course, they have the exhibit down there. And now a child, a grandchild, a great-grandchild can listen to his voice talking about when he was a jockey and his experiences. And we've got to do this. Somebody else can't do it for us. In that sense, I mean, it's great that other people can help. Okay, and this Jeffrey B. Perry came down and he helped us to recapture a part of the history of Hubert Harrison that because he was up there and we're here, we may never have gotten the opportunity to know that well. Okay, so now, books. We come full circle to books. One of the things, we have some children's books being written by local folks. Okay. So, of course, they don't have the movie to the books, but that's something also in the future. Then we can have a couple of guest story readers to something that's
you know, we're planning on doing that. I just haven't had the time to reach out to
you never have enough time. Folks, you gotta see this girl running up and down. I have to wonder how she have time.
So, but I was on my way here. I was speaking to a friend of mine who just had a children's book published by the Department of Education, and so, you know, I was like, oh, you know, we're gonna have that. It's good. That's a good tie-in, and you could be our guest reader, or someone can read for her. So we definitely plan on doing that.
All right, fantastic. Oh my goodness, there's that music, that captivating music, that intoxicating music, folks. I love it. It makes my day on a Thursday, the great, fantastic, outstanding, just the plain best day of the week. Hey, all right, so we'll be back in a minute.
News Talk for the Virgin Islands, AM 970 WSTX.